the time when it works when I'm not having Discord up.
Oh no. Hangout on Air is going away later this year.
Yeah, that's what I heard, which kind of makes me wonder how people plan on doing their streams.
Well, I may have to resort to using Discord again, or Discord now, and
I don't even
streaming
know how
through
that
OBS.
works.
Just stream through OBS. Although I don't know how to implement Discord, but I'm pretty sure we can figure that out. I'll have to ask some friends. But
Yeah.
isn't that wonderful? Thanks for that, YouTube. It's not like
It's not like,
oh,
yeah, it's like YouTube's trying to figure out how much more can we wreck this platform for everyone.
apparently she's out of town.
Oh. That makes sense.
Yep. I just
Maybe
happened
she
to.
tweeted about it and I just missed it.
That's possible. Okay, I need to get the chat up because there's a possibility people are here and and I'm not responding to them because we've been going for a while. That's just great. I like streaming through Hangout. It's quick, it's easy, and I don't have to worry about
Dalton's
it.
apparently here.
Hey, Dalton. Welcome to my nightmares.
And Smaxo's here because I had because apparently Dirt Wonder was asking for people in the voice chat, and I told her I'm streaming with you, and she was like, "Okay." And Smaxo got word about, it, and Smaxo heard.
Oh, hi, Smaxo. Hey, Eric. Hey, Dalton. It's not. They're just rebranding. Howdy, Marks. I'm not people. Are you sure? Are you 100% positive and convinced that you're not a person? It's a bot!
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I need to share this on Discord eventually. And there I go again, completely forgetting to do things.
Whoops.
Welcome to the Nightwolf streams, ladies and gentlemen, where he forgets to do certain basic things, like add conversations to Discord
Right.
and other assorted things ahead of time.
To be fair, judging from the message I got from him, this seems more like a last minute thing, and he hasn't had much time to plan.
Yeah, this was last minute because I didn't know that. Sounds like I'm the boogeyman now. Neat. Little right on schedule.
Right on. Yeah.
Yep, I am right on schedule. Boom, baby. At least I'm consistent in that regard.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Anglin did his Gabby Awards thing, so Dalton's bored now.
Aw. Well, if Dalton is bored, hang on a second, Dalton. Hang on. Give me a hot minute, my friend. I can cure your boredom. You can join us in the fun. There. That hopefully will take care of your boredom.
And now you're humming. Does this happen? Does this have anything to do with the latest news concerning Spider-Man and J.J. Abrams?
No, I don't care a shit about that.
Apparently,
the countdown. I was like, okay, what's this about? And why do I have a feeling that I'm not going to give a shit? Or that it would be some sort of weird special event? And lo and behold, that's exactly what it is.
Because it's Marvel. That's why.
Because it's Marvel, and Marvel is a one-trick pony at this point. Am I upset or surprised by this? Not really. And I honestly could not give two shits. I stopped caring about comics for a while. The subject of this stream's sister had a kid, she would be Aunt Tifa. Oh, I'll see myself out. No, Eric, don't leave. I need viewership. Please don't go.
See, that's the beautiful paradox that is Eric Breen. He's a master troll, but he's also one of your favorite viewers at all times.
Well, he's here the most consistently, and I appreciate that. Of course, most of you guys are, so that's okay. I like when I get new people to join in on the fun, but it's fine if it's just my typical rebel rouser
You
of
can't knock
crazy
that
people.
consistent fan base.
Yep. At least I have one, I guess.
Apparently.
Which means that
Whatever that entails.
somewhere in the world, there are people that actually give a shit about what you have to say. That is not something that everybody can say. So.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah. Apparently, I have a community and I have a fan base. Who knew? But now I get to share things on Discord. Hooray! I'm so behind schedule. Don't worry, guys. We're going to talk about Tifa again because apparently that's a thing that we have to do because new information.
But in relation to the Hangouts closing thing, it's not. They're just rebranding it as something else.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that's
They're
what you're talking
updating
about.
it as a thing.
Yay! So I don't have to learn new tricks to stream.
No,
Oh,
Hangouts shall remain. It's
Brainstormer is here. Hey, Brainstormer, it's been a while. I do apologize, man, that I haven't been able to join any of your streams and whatnot. I've been way too busy lately. I'm trying to find time, but it's getting tougher and tougher for me to find time to do anything. Especially the next 3 weeks, I'm gonna be slammed with a lot of other things I have to do. I'm not sure what I'll be streaming or when I'll be streaming. Well, do you know what happened to the Spirit Award nominations?
We're doing it. We're doing it. I believe tomorrow, and it will be next Wednesday. We're doing the nominations tomorrow, I believe, and the actual award show will be Wednesday.
Permission to come aboard, Captain? Apparently. Didn't know I was a captain at this point. I thought I was a commander, but I'll take what I can get. Hold on, Brainstormer.
Well, I mean, you started out as a knight, so this whole promotion structure is a bit suspect, but whatever.
Captain Knight! I am a captain now. Oh wait, hold on. That is not Hangout. I'm an idiot. I was about to just send you the link to the stream, not the Hangout. I swear, guys. I swear. We're going to get to the topics. I promise.
3 hours later.
Oh, God.
Please, no. Please, God, no. I have other things I need to do.
Well, I don't know if Knight was a knife, but I never professed to be one. My title specifically says Shinobi, so yeah, as far as you're concerned, I'm a ninja.
And a former samurai, apparently.
Yes.
Again, this promotion structure is somewhat confusing, but what the fuck do I know?
Well,
he's just no, that's somebody else.
You're absolutely livid about the ethics department thing, Spexo. Well, I guess that's the first thing that we can cover and talk about.
Yeah.
Hi, Underworld.
Oh, what happened?
Everything.
Oh, yeah. Fans of Final Fantasy VII are still paranoid about Tifa's new looks, which isn't really anything new as much as it has been slightly tweaked.
Yeah. And because the director mentioned in a Famitsu article, here's the thing, we don't know what he's specifically saying or in what context because it's an article, so that's always something where you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Also, keep in mind that it's a Japanese article, so things could be lost in translation potentially. Yeah. I'm not saying that they are, but there's the possibility.
Yeah, pretty much like what happens when stuff gets dubbed.
Yeah. It's not promotion, it's cross-classing. Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, here's the thing. I think in the Fire Emblem games, if I remember correctly, a knight is promoted into a captain or a general. So, and knights are normally the big heavy set guys running around in heavy chainmail armor or heavy armor.
Well, to be fair, I used the term captain when I was making the boat metaphor.
No, it's fine. I don't mind. It was funny, and I got to play off it, so it's fine. How you doing, Brainstormer? How you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Is this the first time we've been on a stream together, Brainstormer?
I believe so.
I don't. Are we sure? I could have swore I had you two on before at one point, but I might be just crossing over with different people that I don't remember who was here and who wasn't.
Don't you mean crossing the streams?
I was about to make that joke, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
It had to be done, Nightwolf. If you didn't do it, I was going to do it. So it had to be done.
Well, there you go. You did it. Congratulations. But, okay, the ethics committee based stuff for Square Enix. One, we don't know what the extent is of their influence on the game's development, for starters. And Knight, either promote to general or great knight. Except Gaiden. Okay. I'll consider.
I suppose he could become a lord or a vassal if he wanted to. That's the appropriate command structure for this particular metaphor, but whatever.
Yeah. But the whole situation with their ethics committee, as my phone buzzes off the hook, I want everybody to kind of keep in mind that with companies like Square and with pretty much any company nowadays, they have these HR nightmares that they have to contend with on a regular basis. What? Was there an echo or something? I just lost.
I thought I heard that too.
It might have come from somebody.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to say.
Was that you, Brainstormer? Do you have something to say?
No, I actually that was my phone.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to silence it. My bad.
Well, I didn't silence mine either, so we're in the same. There. Now it's silenced. Now all it'll do is vibrate on this side. Anyway.
So anyway, you were saying about Square Enix ironically being a bunch
ethics
of squares.
Ethics committees. Yeah. I don't know what the extent is to the influence they have with the games themselves, but and I know that it sounds like a useless type of committee to even have because you normally have your PR department and HR to deal with this type of stuff. It's just like more money to be wasted with people who probably could just fulfill the same roles by being there. But
this is the problem of the corporate bastardization of this whole scenario here.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of cases, HR and PR completely fuck up the ethics. So we need a separate ethics committee just to unfuck what the HR and PR departments fucked up already.
Exactly. Okay. You see, there's the reason why it exists. It's to cover up for other people's stupidity and mistakes. But
the unfucking our own mistakes committee.
Yeah, that's my
sense.
Might be that should be what it's called from now on. But here's the thing.
I agree completely.
With the current climate that we're in, with how outrageous work. I mean, this whole thing right now about Tifa. Keep in mind that Tifa is fine, and nothing has been severely altered or changed to the point where it's like, oh, look, this is a She-Ra incident all over again. It's not. No. This isn't Mortal Kombat 11, which I would at least say, hey, at least you had a decent argument to say the character designs look bad for the characters.
Right?
It's downright terrible, depending on your opinion. Me personally, I think it was blown out of proportion, and I think that it's more or less an artistic direction that they've taken. I don't have to like it or agree with it, and I think it's kind of stupid, but that is their decision, and they still made money.
It's a style change more than anything. It's not as though there's any objective. There's no objective standards here you can point at and see and look and go, see, they're deconstructing this, and this. No, not in this case. I am the proverbial black belt when it comes to identifying that shit at this point, and my radars are not going off.
So outside of Jack's out of left field ending, NetherRealm hasn't gotten completely woke yet with MK with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That being said, that ending was completely fucking foobar.
It was pretty cringe. Not gonna disagree with that. Yeah. Smaxo. Yeah, I know. I'm a big Fire Emblem fan too. And yes, the games did become more of a waifu simulator than anything, but you know what? I'm okay with it. It keeps the game franchise alive, and I'll take what I can get.
Right.
Unless you want Fire Emblem, because if Awakening hadn't succeeded, trust me, we would not be having a conversation about Fire Emblem unless we're talking about it in the past tense. But some of the 3DS games are good. Awakening actually is not that bad, although yes, it does have the whole dating simulator ingrained into it. But play Echoes. Echoes is actually pretty good. It sounds like the Department of Censorship to me. Call me super paranoid. And I get it. I know there's people out there who are paranoid about this type of stuff.
Yep. I'll be happy to call you super paranoid in this case.
Now, I mean, if it came out that the ethics committee was like they oversaw everything and they were like watching everything and going through it all like a fine-tooth comb,
Right.
I'd be like, okay, now you can panic.
But
now
yeah.
you can be concerned. But
especially if they decide to take a razor and shave one side of her head.
yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Just so I have it clear, because I don't actually keep up on a lot of news and anything. The character of Tifa, which is a popular character of Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah.
Is coming under fire from both SJWs and I guess normal people.
No, they're not normal. If they were normal, they'd behave like me and others and be like, guys, you're overreacting. Chill.
Yeah, basically, it's between the what we know as SJWs and the hardcore anti-SJW Gamergate types.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're talking more of the hardcore guys who don't even realize that they've become the very thing that they fought against for so goddamn long.
You live long enough. No.
Yep.
I fucked that up.
You either die a hero.
You either die a hero or
To
live
see
long enough
yourself
to be the
become
villain.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what websites like One Angry Gamer and others have become. They've become the very thing that they fought against for so long.
Yes.
That's the case with all of them, but with One Angry Gamer, it's really hard not to notice that. I leave character design alone, Camp. They didn't really mess with their design, really. That's the thing. It's the most minor things that they changed. Oh no, she has leggings. Oh no, she's wearing spats.
They just
she's
upgraded
wearing a.
her usual design for the style they were going for.
Yeah. Oh no, she's wearing a sports bra to hold her boobies in.
And according to what the director said, because of that is so that they weren't moving around too much during combat scenes.
Right.
Because they thought it might be distracting.
Yeah. I mean, we've all seen.
It might be.
Probably not, but we've all seen what happens in Dead or Alive games and Taki from Soul Calibur.
Yeah. It's like, and that's not what Final Fantasy is about. And that was what me and Samurai were talking about before the stream even started, is that this is not the Tifa is not a character from Dead or Alive. She's not like Taki or Ivy from Soul Calibur. Okay? She's not there to titillate you. At least not as much as people seem to think she is. Don't get me wrong. She does do that all perfectly fine on her own, but she did that through other means, at least for some people. Some people actually like her character and find that attractive.
This titillating wasn't tit-alating.
And that's the thing. It's like, oh, they gave her a sports bra, which is what we discussed basically the last time when we had Piper on. And yeah, that's not really a negative. That probably means her bust size is the same as it was in the other games. It's just restricted so that it's not moving around a lot. Right. And I was like talking to my mom about this because this is a topic that I wish to have a discussion with my mother about. And I was all like, common basic concepts for somebody who is a fist fighter, which would make logical sense. Oh no, heaven forbid, because it's a fantasy game, we can't have practical things in a fantasy setting. Right. Guys, you do realize that the characters are wearing, clothes that you could probably find in the real world too? or
For the most part.
And also, on the very like crux of that point, like this is the thing that always pisses me off about arguments like that. Yeah, empirical laws change with a wind, but logical laws are multiversial, dudes.
yeah.
Like, logic is logic regardless of whatever universe you plop yourself into.
Yeah.
You can change the empirical laws if you want to, but logical laws do not change. They are set virtually in every universe.
I mean, that's one of the bare bone basic things about like writing in general. There's this whole thing of you need to set rules and boundaries into your world so that you know what is and isn't allowed. Like if let's take like the comic book universe for an example. Spider-Man can basically lift a Volkswagen. This is a rule.
Yeah.
He can't lift anything more than that, canon-wise. And
Not
he never
made it anyway.
unless he's wearing the Venom symbiote, he can't lift anything heavier than that. Okay? Now let's say randomly some writer
stronger than that, there needs to be an explanatory reason as to why he is now stronger than that.
Like cosmic powers?
The new status quo, then that becomes the new status quo, but you actually have to go through the process of getting from point A to point B there.
Yeah, and I know fan service is a thing that people like, and I know Specs was talking about it. I don't have a problem with fan service. I mean, here's the thing that some people probably are not talking about. Final Fantasy VII Remake is fan service. You're literally getting everything you've ever wanted and more. You wanted a remake of Final Fantasy VII. Well, here you go. And now people aren't satisfied they're getting a remake of Final Fantasy VII, or at least not in their version of it. And it's like, this is the nature of remakes. This is gonna happen. This is an inevitable thing. It's like, oh, hey, we're gonna remake RoboCop. This was something I pointed out to my mom. It's like, we're gonna remake RoboCop, and we're gonna make a PG-13, and he's going to be in a pure black, sleek designed uniform that looks like it's from a G.I. Joe movie, the live action ones. Are you guys happy? Did you like that movie? Oh wait, very few people saw it or wanted it. It's like, pick one. It's like, do you want the remake or not? This is the reason why on Twitter earlier today I said nobody deserves this remake. Nobody. Not me, not anybody. If you're going to behave like this, Square Enix might as well, cut their ties, take their toys home, and not give you anything.
Yeah.
You're going to make this much of a big deal about this.
Yeah. Or at the very least make Final Fantasy just scrap the remake and move on to Final Fantasy 16.
Exactly. I know, and that's the thing, Spexo. I mean, I was hoping for a remake, but I never asked for one.
Right.
I wanted one ever since the PS3 and the tech demo that they showed. I was like, I want this to be real. And it took them probably over 10 years.
Right. That's the only reason people wanted that remake was that they saw that demo bit from years ago.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "Oh, it'd be cool if they made this. They remade the game in this manner."
Yeah. And the other thing with Square is like they have a track record of remaking a lot of their games, especially their older ones. And it's like nobody has any trust in this company.
Right.
Especially not with the remake team, which has two of the original creators involved. It's like, oh, no, we can't trust them. Guys, we can't trust them. I mean, I understand not trusting a corporation. Right. But at the same time, it's like, we're not going to trust the creative elements of that group. Okay.
Englanteen put this the best way he possibly could have put this when he coined the phrase chasing ghosts.
Yeah.
This whole exercise has been nothing but people chasing ghosts. And I wouldn't necessarily mind it if it weren't for the fact that it was fundamentally kind of hypocritical. Because what is one of the worst qualities of an SJW that we always rail against them for, and in my opinion, for good reason? It's that they're hypersensitive about every little thing and need every little thing to cater to their specific sensibility.
Yeah.
You're not helping if you just switch out your sensibilities for their sensibilities. Your sensibilities don't deserve to be catered to any further than their sensibilities do. morality or political ideology is a bad excuse for anything in art terms.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter which side of the issue you're on. If you're catering to this issue, you are a dumbass.
Yeah. Probably kind of get Final Fantasy VII remilking.
The remake is already going to be episodic, so yeah, they will be remilking it, and they can just remaster that version like they're doing with 10 each time a new console comes out.
Yeah, and what I was going to point out is like there's at least 2 other games I can think of that Square Enix has remastered or remade, and that would be Final Fantasy III and Final Fantasy IV, both of which are considered really good remakes. They've never done the franchise terribly when they've done a remake, at least not so heavily that it makes everybody, angry and pissed off about it. To the extent that some people would think. I've played both of those remakes on the DS, and they're fantastic. So I don't know why people don't trust their creatives to do a good job. It's like, this is Square. At the very least, they're going to make something pretty. Hi, Bella. Hi, puppy.
Even if that's just all they do, which may very well be the case.
Yeah, and they remade 4, and they, well, I'm responding to Smaxon's comment because they remade 3, which made sense because it never came out here in Japan. But 4, I think 4 did come out here. I don't remember for sure if it did or not.
It did. It did. They just repackaged it as 2.
Yeah, and but 4 is a good game, and they remade it and added even more content, voice acting, some nice cutscenes.
Right.
And they did a good job. So I don't understand why people are so concerned.
I think I know where Spatzo is going with the remake of 4 as well. I didn't really like the graphics at I didn't really like the graphics there either.
Yeah, it's fine. I think I thought it was fine looking, at least. It's serviceable changes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the pixelated versions either, so go with either.
Yeah, I think I think for me it was just after being used to a realistic look for Final Fantasy for so long, anything with sprites and it's just like a regression in my mind.
You know what? That was actually one of the things I was thinking about because I was planning potentially to do a video or to be discussing it at some point, and I might as well talk about it here considering that I'm live anyway. But I'll probably do the video anyway. But graphical standards change, and they've been changing for a long time now. And for Square Enix, especially since Final Fantasy X especially, they have a new graphical standard for what their characters look like. They've moved away from sprite-based or super, hot, big anime,
super deformed characters.
Yeah, or highly stylized characters, and they've moved towards more realistic human proportions. And that was
literal representations as opposed to abstractions.
Yeah, right. And that boggled my mind that people were complaining. It's like, why did nobody complain when this has been happening to the franchise for years? It's been happening pretty well. It started with 8, it reverted back in 9, and then went back in 10. And this is their standard that they've been using now for almost 2 decades now,
right?
3 console generations, and you're surprised by this now, of all times.
Well, it's because this happens in a, dare I say it, political context where every time something gets a redesign, it gets redesigned to favor the sensibilities of social justice warriors. So it really does just boil down to just chasing ghosts at this point. It's oh no, they changed something. They must have changed it to cater to this demographic that I don't like.
Well, it's censorship.
I'm sorry, but it really does no service to anybody to be an anti-SJW if you're just going to turn around and do exactly the same shit the SJWs do for exactly the same reasons and just change the color scheme.
Yeah.
That I can actually. Well, now I can finally talk because pretty much everything you guys have been saying so far, it's kind of been going in one ear, not the other. I'm just not like a big. I never really got into Final Fantasy. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Though I won't. The graphical thing, like the graphics thing, yeah, I think it is stupid that people will constantly just, get at it. Though I do wish we would kind of go more into a stylized look, but also I don't know, find like a balance between realistic and stylized, I guess.
I mean, there's plenty of games that are still highly stylized, or ones that are more. Oh, great! The dogs are barking.
At least it wasn't my brother.
Quiet, guys. No, it's the ones I'm watching.
Yeah.
But the graphical, the standard for Final Fantasy games have changed so much that this is the standard that Hildy. No, stop it. That I expect from them at this point. It's like this is the style that they've went with. They haven't deviated or changed it all that much, and to be upset about it now is a really weird thing to be upset about. Of course, that's probably not what people are really arguing about, but the point is that more realistic body structures and types are now what they're working with, and whatever their motion capture actors are, that's probably what they have to use. I know that them restricting her boobs from bouncing is a problem, apparently, but
oh yeah, really?
But it makes sense considering she knows kung fu.
Yeah. And the dogs are barking still. I'm gonna mute real quick. I also have to go and take care of some other business. I'll be right back. You guys can.
Wow.
Awkward silence.
Right?
Yes. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Shall we do to the chat? I go.
So would one of you guys be willing to explain to me the story of Final Fantasy VII?
Okay. Okay. Basically, you start out as a bounty hunt, about a soldier turned bounty hunter by the name of Cloud Strife. He hooks up with this resistance group called Avalanche, who is at odds with this corporation called Shinra, who are wrecking the planet with their spirit energy draining reactors. And that whole bit starts out and turns into a manhunt for Cloud's old nemesis named Sephiroth, who has an agenda of his own, and it turns into a mission to stop him.
Okay. I'm thinking it's a lot more complicated than what you just summarized, but I get the gist of it.
That is the very essence of the short version, and I agree with you, Rabbit. It seems like a good idea to return to turn-based game mechanics, but will they is the question.
And Smaxo just corrected me on mercenary because I apparently said bounty hunter.
There's a difference?
There's, I guess if you're going by Final Fantasy's idea of what a mercenary is, they pretty much do just about anything from bringing people, from apprehending somebody to getting a cat out of the tree. Bounty hunters are more specific.
When you hire a bounty hunter, you are hunting someone for a bounty. When you hire a mercenary, you essentially can make them do
Just about
lots
anything.
of different things. Yeah.
Like playing bodyguard for flower girls.
That's still funny.
Wait, flower girl. Oh, that death scene. Okay.
I wonder how long it will take Nightwolf to sort out the doggos.
I think that all depends on the dog.
This is true. That's why I don't often try to deal with my brother's dog when he starts barking, because as long as he's in the cage and he doesn't want to be in the cage, he will continue to bark. No matter how many times you beat and threaten him.
And yes, Maxo, I did see that bit where I did see that bit where they leaked the cross-dressing bit for Cloud, and maybe it's just the graphics, but they just made him look awful.
And I'm back. What'd I miss? Hopefully the dogs are gonna chill out.
Not much. I was just trying to fill in Brainstormer a little bit on the synopsis of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, that's fine. I'm gonna
Wait, did you say synapses?
synapses.
Synopsis.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's just synapses are like brain impulses, and I mean,
Well,
it can be
okay,
kind of weird.
so actually, now that we've hit on that little bit of linguistic interest here, when you think about it, it's not that bad. It's not as terrible a flub as you would think, because what is the job of a brain synapse? It's essentially to compress information so that your brain can process it better. And what is the job of a synopsis? To compress information so your brain can process it better. So
Okay, fair point.
Yeah, which
Fair
is pretty.
point.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is pretty much the that kind of puts the conception of materia into perspective, because they're compressing spirit energy into this little ball to do different things.
Yeah. I do apologize for the dogs. They the neighbor who lives in the apartment up above this house, she was out watering the front yard and they saw her and freaked out. So
I got a dog. I know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
I'm contending with 3 right now.
Well, mine constantly tries to kill anything near our yard.
No, Bella,
Let's see.
Bella, don't.
And let's see. Oh yeah, I guess Smack and Rabbit were having a thing about the turn-based gameplay, and Rabbit,
Stop.
I mean Spaxo says, "I feel you folks don't have the patience for waiting in turns anymore. Shame." Which was what made Fantasy Stars. What made Fantasy Stars game, the way Fantasy Star did their turn-based so great. You just inputted the action. You just inputted everybody's the commands for your entire party members, and after that, the fight sequence played out. Unlike Final Fantasy, where everything happens almost instantaneously, and you're just waiting to get your turn in.
Oh, we also talked about cross-dressing while you were gone, Nightwolf.
Oh, okay. I just caught that.
Well, when Aerith talked Cloud into getting all those accessories so he can dress up like a woman so he can help Tifa.
Yeah, I know, and the committee apparently taught that too, or the director says like we may have made some changes to it, and I'm like, I'm really not surprised by that, because even I find that particular subset of the game weird. Not really in a negative way, but it can be
as long as they keep
taken and used
As long as they keep certain aspects of that operation optional, I'm okay with it.
You gonna behave? Are you gonna behave, Hildy? You better.
Because when the
Sorry.
way the original game did it, all you needed was the wig and the dress to proceed through the game. Everything else was optional.
Yeah. Yep.
And you can even manipulate who
Oh, I
and you can
gotta
even
answer the doorway.
and you can even manipulate the algorithm a bit to determine who Don Corio found more attractive depending on the quality of your accessories. So that's always interesting to see what kind of combinations you come up with to make him to see who he finds attractive.
You know, the more and more I hear about certain things where I wasn't into them when they were at the height of the popularity, the more I want to check them out.
I'm glad that didn't creep you out too much.
Which reminds me, because we're on a stream, I have to engage my standard amount of badgering. Brainstormer.
No, I have
see
not.
Dark Crystal yet?
I have not. I don't got Netflix. I don't got Netflix anymore.
You do realize I wouldn't be doing my job as your friend if I didn't occasionally badger you about that.
Oh no, I appreciate it. I just haven't had the time, especially today. If you saw the video I uploaded at the podcast channel.
Yes, it's the intro. Yes.
Yep. I guess I should do some plugging while Nightwolf's away. I have a podcast channel. Me and Dalton host this along with Corrupt. Lovely fellow, bit eccentric.
Yes, I'm familiar with
you could say that about all three of us, honestly.
Fair. We host every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, now I'm finally back again. Hey, I'm here. Hooray, what'd I miss? I had to answer a door.
I definitely did not put my channel.
Nothing really. You just missed some random discussion and also Brainstormer shilling.
Yeah, so that's fine. I don't care. I had to answer the door. The lady was reminding me that I have to water the plants, and I forgot that I have to do that today. No, I'll have to do that after the stream.
Oops.
Anyway. Oops. Well, I had to work with my mom earlier, so I kind of spaced and forgot, but I'll try and remember to do that once we're done here. Okay, so what have we talked about?
Hypocrites and SJWs bashing Final Fantasy with a female design.
Right.
Yeah. Well, like we mentioned before, remakes, the nature of a remake means that something's going to be changed or altered. And if you weren't interested in the remake prior to the new announcements, you probably were never going to be interested to begin with. So, I don't know.
It does. It brings up an interesting question. Now, what makes a good remake? Because so far, I think all we've seen in the past 10 years or so, we haven't seen good remake.
In all honesty, at least from what we've gotten to see of Final Fantasy VII's remake, I think it's a good remake. At least from what we've gotten so far, that could drastically change in the next several months. But
skipping on the effort or anything, it looks like they're actually putting effort into it. So.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean just in general with remakes.
Yeah, they're putting in a massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really all that interested in. But it depends. Some of them might be a good idea, others cannot. I mean, one of my favorite remakes that I actually own that I thought was a really good remake was when they remade Guyver in mid 2000s. I think it was 2010, 2012.
that TV show.
I think.
Oh yeah,
the TV show version.
Yeah, they made it into a 26 on almost 30 episode television series as opposed to the 12 episode OVA that came out in the 80s.
Yeah, and I thought it was a damn good remake, to be quite honest.
I always saw the movie.
The live action one?
movie. I don't know. I kind of like it.
I'm sorry, but when I saw that live action one, all I could think of was Token Razor from Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
No, I have the first
I-
one on tape. Not the first one, the second one on tape.
I personally thought that was a funny remake. Yeah. The second one is better, but I kind of like the first one. Just for the camping. We're going to lighten things up a bit because I wanted to point out this tweet because I thought it was hilarious. Because it kind of just shows just how so some of this whole thing is. When somebody comes in and says, in Final Fantasy VII, Cloud Strife had very large hands. Easily a glove size 3XL. In the remake, his hands are distinctly normal sized. Disappointing to see expending to the agenda of those who would censor Cloud's juicy knob turners. A loss for gamers everywhere.
Which of course.
How can he have made
only
that up
can
with that
I'll let Dalton
stump that served as his hands?
Let Dalton talk. I want to hear what he has to say. Go ahead.
Which of course can only make me think of the rock biter scene from Neverending Story. They look like great strong hands, don't they? Oh.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of funny. It's like they're using the old character model and the new one, and it's like, we're very disappointed in you, Square. We're super disappointed. Where's his nubby arms?
Well, at least they gave him hands instead of a stump.
Yeah, and I just love this comment section because everybody is like,
I'm just wondering how they're going to do the scene where Barrett actually loses his arm.
yeah, like this one for The Simpsons. Old man yells at Cloud. Oh, the dogs are back at it. Guys, stop, please. I don't want to have to turn myself off again. Oh, and somebody with the Popeye the Sailor Man.
Well, look at his arms. They do resemble. That's what it looks like. I mean, even Spoonie made that joke in his Final Fantasy VIII review.
Oh, I miss Spoonie. Spoonie was cool.
Yep.
And, yeah, too bad his bipolar disorder got the better of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, I know the artistic choice and all, but Cloud having fingers when he clearly didn't in the original game is not okay. How dare Square deprive us of his Ultra HD nubs by giving him realistic human proportions? I just... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's a really dumb comment.
It's intended to be a joke.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just saying, like, if it was 100% serious, obviously it would be.
Yeah, it would have been really stupid.
Yeah.
It may hands down be the stupidest thing we've talked about today.
Yeah.
Zing.
Yep. Yeah, but I thought that this was like I just thought it was kind of funny that this comment section exists.
Right.
Thank you, Twitter. This actually made my whole entire day.
Oh, hey, Twitter actually did something good for once.
Yeah.
Yeah, shouldn't Cloud have muscles?
Can't break glass.
Hauling that Buster Sword should have built his muscles. Yeah. Best workout routine. Yeah. The sword's at least probably over 200 some odd pounds, if not more, and it's about majority of Cloud's size. Yeah. And yeah, his arms are not normal size. We're very disappointed, Square. 1 out of 10 would not buy.
Yeah.
It just kind of to me it kind of shows just how stupid people's argument over Tifa is. Actually, it just shows how idiotic it truly is. Look at guts.
Yeah.
True.
Once again, I have to make this point. If one of your biggest criticisms of SJWs is them being emotionally overreactionary and not logical, is a thing, then you have to actually hold yourself to that same standard and not get emotionally reactionary about illogical shit.
Yeah.
Smaxo, at least I can look at Guts and actually believe it.
Yeah. I mean, we can always make the excuse for Cloud, not having big, strong, large muscles because he's a first-class soldier. He has
Well,
Mako in his.
actually, oh crap! I can't. Oh crap! I have to remember Brainstormer hasn't apparently played the game, and I can't reveal that spoiler.
I don't care about spoilers, dude.
It's over 20 years old. Does anybody really care if we spoil the game?
Okay, fine. Everything that Cloud remembers during the first disc of the game turns out to be a huge lie.
Yep, fabricated from himself, I think. And
those Genova incels planted in him, kind of trying to rewrite his memory to match. Yeah,
you just
pretty much rewriting his brain.
Did you just call it an incel planet?
That was what I was going to point out. It's like Genova incels.
Cells injected into him, rewriting his memories to match Zack's.
Yeah, I know. It's just that you used in and cell and put it together and spelled.
It came off as though you were saying, like, this is the planet full of nothing but incels.
But that's fine. But yeah, Cloud's memories are fabricated for a good portion of the game until he actually starts remembering who he really is.
And yes, Max. So that's why I say Sephiroth is the worst villain ever.
Wait, in which way? Bad or good? Worse?
Well, he brought up the whole Norman Bates thing, which is pretty much what Sephiroth is.
Listening to the voice of his mother inside his head because he snapped mentally. No, Sephiroth's mom is Cthulhu. You're not wrong. At least she's an actual thing. She is alive, kind of.
Wait, hold on. If he acts like Norman Bates and all his memories are fake.
No, not Cloud.
No, Cloud's not Norman Bates. Sephiroth is because of all his mommy issues.
Would you call that a Bates and switch?
And now Dalton is relegated to the corner for that bad pun.
That's right. I have a soundboard.
Yeah.
Hooray! That's cool.
I think I kind of figured.
Soundboard and he's not afraid to use it.
Yeah. I think I figured out why I hate Titus from 10 so much. He and Sephiroth have so much in common.
Yeah, he has daddy issues and Sephiroth has mommy issues. It's just a funny turnaround. They switched it on us.
The closest I came to playing Final Fantasy games is Kingdom Hearts.
Well, that's as close as you could get.
Yeah. At least
I remember. I think it was Kingdom Hearts 2. It was the first ever Kingdom Hearts game I played instead.
Right. Well,
the best one.
Well, at least with Kingdom Hearts, you only get to see Tidus and Waka for a brief period of time.
I thought that maybe I'll bring up the article so that I don't know, maybe we'll talk about it. I think we pretty much covered most of it, but I wanted to take the quotes from the creator. It says that we wanted Tifa to have abs, so she now has more of an athletic body type. It's like, oh, so we're playing into the fact that she's a martial artist more. They succeeded. And they did what they were supposed to do. The ethics department at Square Enix also said we had to tighten her chest so it doesn't look unnatural during all the intense fighting. Because of that, we added black thigh highs and a tank top.
Oh, yes, because that is so the same thing as censoring her boobies.
Yep. Because it's the same thing. And also it's the same as what the creators at Mortal Kombat 11 said. It's the same thing, guys. It's just worded completely differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it makes a lot of sense with these design changes. So I don't know why people are getting so up in arms.
I mean, let's think about this. Way back in the day with Batman's costume design, didn't he used to just run around in what was affectionately a onesie? basically. It didn't look like combat armor, and nowadays, what is Batman depicted in?
With purple gloves, mind you.
Yeah.
Which nobody
purple
remembers
gloves.
from the Golden Age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And
we went on.
what does he wear now?
Basically a Kevlar bodysuit with a bat motif.
Yeah, or at the very least, it looks more like Kevlar than it did before.
He can he can even glide. He can even hang glide with his cape.
Yeah. So when Bounding into Comics says that these comments are similar, if by similar you mean completely different and not the same thing at all, similar but not similar.
If by similar you mean the exact opposite of every definition that one could conceivably use for the word similar, then yes, they are similar.
Yeah, come on, Bounty Comics. I expect better from you. Stop making Bleeding Cool look credible.
Yeah, I mean, Mark. Shots fired.
Third degree burns from that one.
I mean, I like Mark Kern, and I understand what he was saying here. That it's like it's really weird to have an ethics committee to regulate her titties, but I don't know if that's the only thing that they
regulate.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like the Honeybee Inn cross-dressing event is still in the game. We've made it more modern. If we made the place like we did in the original game, the physical uneasiness would be overwhelming. So that was no good. Keep in mind that this is a quote probably taken out of context. There could be more that he said. I don't know.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, here's the one thing about Nomura, who is like I believe he's the director of the game. Here's the funny thing about him. He's also the guy who directed 13. And he's also the one who increased Lightning's bust size. I just thought that was a funny thing to point out. He's the same guy who has a unhealthy relationship with his own creation.
Jeez. So he's the guy who worked on the game that everyone hates.
Yeah. But that was his own creation and not the same. They brought in both. The producer is the guy who was the director of the original game, and Nomura is the director of the current one, but he's working with the former director. So I think that's how that's going.
I agree, Smack. So you can almost hear Kotaku complaining from here.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's kind of the funny thing when it comes to like websites like Bounding into Comics. Well, not so much Bounding, but like One Angry Gamer and Kotaku. All I hear is "ree."
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's like, okay, I'm tuning you out now.
Yeah.
For the most part, unless I'm here to laugh at you.
So that you'll have no regrets?
Nope, not whatsoever.
Smash was like, Lightning has a bust size?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know, Smack, so I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy 13 games.
Okay, just for the record, if people in the chat and also the other two in this stream, Dalton knows I don't like puns. I find them to be the...
I don't like puns either.
Yeah, I find them to be the lowest common denominator of humor.
Well, so are fart jokes, but
yeah, I was just
use those.
I was just gonna bring that up too.
Yeah, but I don't mind a pun from time to time. So
he does it every week.
There are better ways to make jokes. Yeah, I know, Smack. So it's shocking. Lightning has a bust size. She didn't in the first game, but eventually she did. So, I like puns. Well, how about wordplay? Isn't that the same thing or similar? No, it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same.
If you want to be like really erudite about it, you could call it paranomasia. That's like the highfalutin word for puns and wordplay.
Yeah, and you want to here's something that I found really interesting.
Right?
Yeah. Here's something that I found really interesting when reading like the comment sections for the 3 different articles, whether it's from Niche Gamer, the Bounding into Comics, or One Angry Gamer, they're like night and day. Previous ones compared to One Angry Gamer, their comment sections, like in Bounding and in in Niche Gamer, it's like, okay, I could see myself actually posting comments in this particular on this article if I had the time or if I wanted to. At least I feel as though there's at least some level of respect and I wouldn't say normalcy, but at least they're not nuts. But One Angry Gamer's comment section is absolute cancer. Just saying. Just wanted to point that out because not only is Billy D's articles trash, so is his comment section. I saw some that was really, really stupid. Oh, I remember something. A few weeks, like when the reveal first happened, I did watch a video about someone discussing whether or not she had been censored, whether Tifa had been censored and whatnot. And I posted a comment on that video because I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't say that this is censorship. And I was having a conversation with the video creator, and somebody came into our comment section or came into the thread and said that real fans would be upset about this. And we're like, define real fan. Please define it, please. Please, it's it's awful presumptuous of you.
I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but this is exactly the shit I always hate when it comes from the SJW, is this arbitrary appeal to the authority of a concept rather than any kind of logical argumentation. And once again, it doesn't matter how much cancer you cure if you yourself are a walking cancer. You have not meaningfully reduced the amount of cancer in the world at that point, and that's the problem.
Yeah. But hey, why not? We're going to contend with One Angry Gamer's cancer with some very, very strong chemotherapy. Apparently,
with the fires of logic.
Yeah, guys. Here I brought it up just because the last time that we did this, I thought it was kind of funny. Me just kind of mocking him for his shitty writing style. That is pure trash, to say the least.
Well, I mean, Brainstormer and I are certainly not strangers to dissecting vigorously the stupidity of articles. So
yeah. So let's read this. It's like Tifa Lockhart's boobs in Final Fantasy VII Remake appear smaller than how they did in the original Final Fantasy VII. Many diehard gamers. Oh, I love how you use that term, Billy D. Thank you so much. What's diehard enough for you? Do I have to be physically injecting Final Fantasy VII into my bloodstream?
Well, okay.
Or cry every time Eris gets impaled with a sword.
Yeah, it's like what? How diehard are we talking here?
This is something that they always do when they find a concept or a role to be ridiculous on the face of it. They always do this whole put it in air quotes and imply that it shouldn't meaningfully exist thing, because in their mind, you shouldn't devote enough of your energies to a game or gaming to be considered a hardcore gamer. So in their mind, the very concept of a hardcore gamer is ridiculous. In which case, I must say, fuck you.
Right.
You don't get to determine what I find valuable to do with my life or my energies. Right. I do. Fuck off.
Yep. Tifa's less bombastic boobs, because we need to write it like that, because flavor text is hard, and I can't be bothered to write a cohesive sentence.
At least you didn't say less boob-bastic. That's where I would have gone.
Yep. When she was finally unveiled during at Square's media conference, well, it was confirmed recently in an interview with Famitsu by director Tatsuya Nomura that it was Square Enix ethics department that told them that they had to restrict her boobs so that there wasn't any unnatural movement Exactly. Why are you putting it in quotations? He said unnatural, and he meant it.
Because
By unnatural and putting it in quotations, you're demeaning what natural and unnatural movement would be.
because again, these people always operate under the authority of concepts rather than anything relating to
Yeah.
logical merit. So when they find something ridiculous, all they have to do is undermine the word choice, undermine the concept, and then they can just act like they have the moral and intellectual high ground at all times and in all circumstances.
And you don't.
No. You don't get to determine what natural and unnatural are unless you actually bother to deign to deliver us an argument. And I'm gonna throw my neck on the proverbial guillotine here and suggest that there will be no arguments.
Yeah. These are automatically the same people who complain about how normal, or what we call normal society, view how beauty works.
Yeah, how there should under no circumstances be any normal, and yet, yeah.
Yeah, and yet we have to have a normal. It's like where he says, which technically isn't natural at all. You know, boobs jiggling. It's like, yes, Mr. Billy D. Yes, boobs do jiggle. Thank you for that enlightening commentary.
Yeah. Next, she'll be telling us the sky is blue.
Well,
yeah, as it also adding. It also adding, in order to prevent her from being too enticing. Is that really what they were doing? Or is it they were doing it so that she's not bouncing all over the place when she's in combat? Because that might be a bit too distracting.
Yeah.
For a game that has a more serious.
Yeah. Which would naturally happen when you're running around trying to fight and you have no support for your boobies.
I think that was what Piper was mentioning. It's like, that shit hurts. It's not comfortable and it's not fun. So yeah, Tifa wearing a sports bra, not really a big problem.
Yeah,
and to just completely remove this from the context of sexuality for a second, because that is the main issue that these people are having, is they want either there to be more sexuality or less. Any body part that trembles when you exert it is not a body part you want to have exposed. Seriously. Because trembling is like your body's universal language of, ew, too much stress is being put on this, fuck off with it.
Yeah.
That's basically what trembling means. So jiggling of any kind is probably not a good thing under any circumstances, especially if you're in a battle scenario.
Yeah. Right. And Tifa is a fist fighter. So yeah, it would make sense that she would wear things like, because it's like, what was it? The fact that she's wearing spats and that she's also wearing a sports bra. Oh, heaven forbid. It's like, oh, so she's wearing clothing that most melee combatant women would wear, like in the MMA and whatnot.
Yeah.
So she's wearing the same stuff that they would wear. Oh no. I'm so horrified.
and this is the worst, and this is the worst aspect of it. I think a large part of the outrage comes from the fact that people assume that this would be catering to like the sex negative feminists. But unfortunately for those people worried about that, there's also a faction of feminists called the sex positive feminists. And you're doing exactly what they do, i.e., if you assume that a woman should cover up ever, you're trivializing her in some way. That's why you can never play this moralizing game with them in the first place, because on one side you have people going, ew, male gaze, but on the other side you have people going, if you repress anyone's sexuality in any circumstances whatsoever, you're oppressing them, therefore rage.
Yeah, you're dealing with the people who can't even keep their own standards consistent.
Well, no, it's not that they can't keep their own standards consistent. It's just that there are two factions with completely opposing standards. The people on the sides can keep their standards consistent. It's just that it's two opposing standards, and nary the two shall meet, aside from the fact that women are oppressed by something somewhere, and it's probably some person other than women's fault somewhere, somehow. That's basically the only consistent element in this worldview.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the comment section real quick. Yeah, I can understand what Smaxo is saying. Like with this one comment, I don't say she was censored. I just feel she was off for some reason the first time at least. Yeah, and I could understand that it's like, oh, there's something that's not quite right about this. When I saw because I didn't watch the footage of the 20-minute demo that they showed at E3 right off the bat. I saw images of her in on Twitter, and I was like, and my fears have been alleviated. I was like, didn't see a problem with her. I was like, oh, she looks good to me. I don't know. Don't see if there's a problem here. And then almost about several hours later, oh, there's a problem. And people are complaining and people are talking. And I'm like, oh dear freaking God. And I was like, I'm not. No, remember, I was like, I swear to God, this is like, I'm not saying that I'm Nostradamus, but I called it. But it's like, I predicted the future, guys. I knew this would happen, and it's still happening because we can't go 1 week without some form of controversy or complaint or argument of something.
And in the immortal words of Linkara, the future is dumb.
Yeah, I think I remember there was that one I was talking about, like one of what Razorfist used to do for some of his videos, where he's just like sits in his chair and he breathes in deep.
Yeah.
Fuck you! I was
right. Yeah.
And I'm like, yep, I feel validated. This is exactly how I feel right now. I called this shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, most of these arguments are even less credible than the Nostalgia Critic's review of Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Who?
Sailor Moon?
Or the Nostalgia Critic.
Oh,
yeah,
Brainstormer, have you not heard of the Nostalgia Critic?
Well, I mean, I've heard of him.
By introducing you into his videos.
Well, I'm not. I've heard of him. I'm just not like big.
Some of his older videos were good, but he's really lost the touch lately. But I will nevertheless have to get you into some of his videos because he can be funny.
Okay, so I'm looking at like a frame from like the trailer for the remake of Tifa, and I don't know, like the only thing that really bugs me about the design is like why the straps like on her shoulders and stuff. You know,
those have always been there. Those have just been a part of her design.
It's just the leggings that weren't there before.
The leggings, the pleated skirt, the spats, and the underbra, or the
I guess my big
sports bra were the only things.
I don't know, like for some reason, it just like the straps on her shoulders just look like they don't really work. What's the purpose of them? I guess is my question.
They don't really serve any purpose. It's a stylistic choice because Final Fantasy artists love style over actual substantive reason why it exists.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look at Tidus's outfit from Final Fantasy X. One leg he wears shorts when one leg is longer than the other.
Yep.
Okay.
Is there a logical reason for that? No,
probably
he just
not.
likes wearing it.
Oh, yeah.
Because asymmetrical design is Final Fantasy and Square Enix's bread and butter.
Well,
at this point.
diegetically, it's because most of the characters are like young emo teenagers, and they're trying to be edgy.
Yeah, they're trying to stand out in the crowd.
I mean,
that still doesn't explain how all that clothing doesn't weigh him down while he's playing Blitzball ball in the water.
Good point. Anyway, Brainstormer, you were going to say?
Well, I was going to say I'm not really one to judge the design choices of Final Fantasy because my whole thing when working with certain art of character design is if it looks cool, I'll use it, but I will work on a story reason why.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I can go with that. If there's some narrative, logical explanation as to why you're doing certain things, I can go with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. A part of me feels like maybe have a holster or something for like a knife or brass knuckles.
Yeah, you would think that it has a practical use, but I don't know. Maybe it's just suspenders to keep her skirt up. I don't know.
Suspenders. That's what the word I was looking for.
Could be. But
They could
yeah.
be there for that purpose because they are connected to her skirt. So
Didn't she have those suspenders before?
yeah, she had them in the original design.
That's what I thought.
Not new. They've been there from the beginning. The only things that are new are the pleated skirt because now she has more free range of movement to actually kick things. But apparently that's a problem because people
we're
like
not
the tight onesie now.
And we're not restricted by old school PS1 polygons where there's like no detail to the outfit at all.
Yeah. Damn it, Dalton Cloud's not emo. Oh wait, we're talking about Ben. Carry on. Well, he's not entirely wrong. And I understand Smacko's comment about the potential that they might tighten it further or they might change things further. Yeah, that could totally be a thing, especially when people are making a bigger issue out of this. Good job, guys. You may be intentionally making Square second guess their decisions. It'd be one thing if it was companies like Kotaku or Polygon that are doing this and making the trying to force the company to make changes. But now people on the other side are doing the same exact thing. You know you've screwed up this entire argument when Noble of Lost Paws just did an 11-minute video basically joking about this whole entire argument.
That
is like talking about Tifa's.
Sorry, I was trying to do a joke there.
Sorry, I interrupted. That's my fault. Go ahead.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call hypocrisy.
Yep. Meet the new outrage mob, same as the old outrage mob.
But for different reasons.
Same outrage mob, same great taste. Back to
same crap, different package.
Yep. Let's see.
Different color scheme, basically.
Yep. Let's see what else is mentioned. Aficionados were quick to point out in the reveal that Tifa was wearing sports bra undershirt to keep her from moving. This basically made it so that she has no boob physics at all. Well, gee, I wonder why a martial artist would do that when she has a big rack.
Yeah.
If only Piper was here to comment.
I mean, come on. Come on.
Explain this once.
Go, Dalton. I'm gonna let Dalton go. Then you go, Sam.
I kind of explained this once before when I explained that body parts that tremble are by far and away the most vulnerable and the most under stress during fighting. Therefore, you really, really want to restrain any body parts that are likely to tremble from doing that, and therefore basically marking it out as your weakest point. Especially because your competitors in any given fight you're in will probably notice that a given body part is trembling and see that as a giant fucking target on your back, or in this case, on your front. And that's not good strategy when you're fighting things.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was when they're not wearing dresses, even women in the WWE wear sports bras, and those are usually fake.
Yep. But they still do it.
Yeah.
Because they're still doing a physical activity.
Yeah, they got to keep them.
Keep the girls in line.
Yeah, they got to keep that rack in check.
Yep. And
wow.
This was the part that was the funniest to me. Just this sentence overall. So I suppose it's safe to say that Tifa was censored. Really?
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah.
Censored raccoon. Yay.
I've seen more. I think I was having this conversation a few days ago where someone was complaining about Sony censoring a different game. I think it's the Code Veins game where they may have edited out some blood, but I don't know the context of the reasons why. But I was like, dude, I've been watching this type of shit go down for years. Sony censoring things is not anything new. Game companies in Japan have been doing it for decades. And it's just now that anybody even pays even remote attention to it at all and makes a deal out of it. Sometimes a bigger deal than it needs to be. But I mean, I remember one of the last Tales of game got one of the scenes where there's the young boy that the main character is friends with, or it's a sibling, I can't remember what. But he gets stabbed in the Japanese version. He's executed because he's there's like some sort of monster demon. I don't remember the specifics, but he gets stabbed in execution style. Not the American version. They changed it to him being lit on fire.
Yeah.
They still kill the character, but they do it in two different ways.
Right.
I would say the burning alive is worse.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. You would think it sounds worse.
Oh yeah.
But
fancy.
But that's what
yeah. Would you rather have it over in a single stab, or would you rather burn the fuck alive?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You want unnecessary censorship? How about Phantasy Star 2, where there's a section in the game where you have to take piano lessons in order to proceed to a certain bit of the game, but the teacher charges less for the men than the women because he likes dudes. But they changed the dialogue so that wouldn't get revealed about him.
Also, this paragraph gets even better. Since Square Enix specifically had Nomura, okay, where did if you're talking about their ethics committee, maybe had Nomura to cover her up and place her in the spats and Under Armour sports bra so she wouldn't be as sexually tantalizing as she was back in the late 90s. Bitch, have you seen this woman? Are we looking at the same girl?
Yeah. And also, there's another element to this, which is because of how stylized the original was, you could very much make the argument that the more literal looking version in the new one is more sexualized because it's more approximate to what a human being looks like, and therefore more easy to
it's like, hey,
especially when said human is 22 years old.
Yeah, she's a looker in this game. I don't know what people were complaining. I mean, this reveal got Alpha Omega Sin out of goddamn retirement. He came back for this shit. And he talked about Tifa and her boobs for a good portion of his video when he came back.
Can I bring up an example of Tifa still looking okay, but I would say kind of more not. Okay, I'm sure everyone here knows what Death Battle is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tifa, wait, is it Tifa or Tifa?
You can pronounce it either way.
Okay. I'll say Tifa. Tifa was in one of the death battles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was fighting one of the characters from Ruby.
Yang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it's gone downhill. But anyway, like she was in a different, style of clothing, and she still looked good. So.
Yeah, she was wearing the Advent Children outfit, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So I would say that. I don't really think.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, she looks good no matter what.
Yeah.
As much as a video game character can.
Yeah. You said the character is a friend, right? Why the hell would you light your best friend on fire? I should have been more specific. The character is killed by some form of an inquisition.
Okay, and I wanted to say something on Death Battle really quickly. If you're looking at every detail they get wrong with a fine-tooth comb, of course you're not going to enjoy it. I basically come from a position as I'm not really looking to see what they get wrong, as long as I'm entertained by the Death Battle itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was a very bad example of this when they did Strange versus Fate. in that one, because they got the right answer, but they got there for completely the wrong reasons, and it annoyed the fuck out of me.
Yeah, Dom's a
Yeah.
big Doctor Strange fan. How can we forget?
Well, and Fate as well. Fate is one of the few characters who I like more than Strange.
Yeah.
Well, he's an occultist. You're an occultist, so it makes sense, CB.
Yeah. I have my biases in favor of the magic users because, well, yeah. He's a thing.
Yeah. And I agree with the results of Optimus Prime versus Gundam, but that's a no-brainer, and I'm like, why would you even put this
It's like putting Gundam versus Gurren Lagann. It's not a fight that the Gundam's gonna win.
But yeah, it's like putting the SDF-1 against Unicron. My money is gonna be on Unicron.
Yeah, exactly. But Optimus Prime versus Mazinger. Now that would be, I think, a pretty fair fight, actually. Except for the fact that Mazinger is like several stories tall.
Okay,
but he's faced off against Devastator, so hey, it could work.
I didn't like that fight between Cap and Batman either.
That one is a weird one. Yeah, I mean, Cap is a type of character. Because Cap isn't human.
Yeah,
he's not on the same level. Batman is a human with highly skilled athletics, but Cap is a highly athletic individual with his skills being amplified by at least time. He's supposed to be at least 5 times stronger than your typical Olympic athlete.
Then he would be otherwise.
Yeah. It also undermines what Batman said about him in that comic they tried to use as they referenced.
Yeah. Moral of the story: fights are cool.
It's kind of like how in the Fate versus Strange one, they made Fate use the true Fate form that he has, and I'm just sitting there like, bitch, he wouldn't have even needed to.
Yeah,
Fate is the better master of the mystic arts. Full stop. He doesn't need any special extra tricks.
Yeah.
If you want my personal opinion, they should have taken away Strange's Aya Agamotto and taken away Fate's helm and just had them go at it sorcerer v sorcerer. Because that's what I'm actually more interested in. I don't care whose artifacts are more powerful. I care who is actually the better occultist when all is said and done. Who is the better magic user when all is said and done?
Yeah. I think that one of the funnier battles was when they had Cloud versus Link and Cloud lost for some unbeknownst reason. I was like, wait. We're talking about Cloud, who is, and they did the same thing like what they did with like Goku versus Superman. They took like all the different variations of Link and put it into one when Cloud is only one individual. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, we're gonna give Cloud all of these feats and whatnot, and not specify which version of.
Okay, and on the subject of Goku versus Superman, and this is another minor nitpick. Well, more major but less important to me, at least. Nitpick I have. Like 90% of Goku's attacks have to do with the manipulation of his ki, of his life energy.
Mm-hmm.
Life energy is magic. And what is the one thing, aside from kryptonite and, like, Kryptonian technology, that Superman is vulnerable to? This should have been over in all of 5 seconds.
Wait, in the DBZ universe, had they said that ki, spirit energy, and magic were on the same plane? Because
they may have made some arbitrary distinction. I'm just coming at it from a pure, like, occult background perspective.
Okay, that's fine, but when it comes to that, you have to. Okay, that's fine with that, but I'm just looking at what was said in said DBZ universe, and if magic and ki are two different things, which was the way I understood it, I could see how Superman was able to shrug off his Kamehameha blast with no effort.
Yeah.
Well,
I would have to say
if they made a stupid arbitrary distinction, then fine. I guess that gives Superman an out. But in just purely logical terms, based on what these terms are generally held to mean, he honestly should have been able to knock Superman on his ass with not even a Kamehameha. It should have just been like a Mokai Kosovo or something smaller like that. That should like a Kaioken should have honestly been enough to knock Superman on his ass if we're being entirely literal within the confines of what the word magic means.
Now, if we're talking about Injustice Superman, what's stopping him from cooking Goku's heart from the inside out before he even knew what was going on?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. It really boils down to the under most circumstances, it's the fact that they're both so naive and Boy Scoutish. It's funny.
I don't think Superman is quite
doing most of the bullshit they could do.
Well,
in my honest opinion, Superman's not as naive as people make him out to be. At least depending on what Superman we're referring to or who's writing him. But I mean, he's pure-hearted and he's honest.
Yeah.
You know. But that doesn't mean he's naive. It's not like he's like, I'm a good person and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't look at Lex Luthor and say, you might be doing something.
Smaxo makes an excellent point, and this point works for pretty much all of the death battles. In a lot of these cases, it's good character versus good character, and these characters should know better. Like in the case of like Gandalf versus Dumbledore, they should be on the same side. In the case of Strange versus Fate, they should be on the same side. There's no earthly reason why these characters should not.
I
be on opposite sides of any
and the Ninja Turtles wouldn't kill each other.
Yeah. The one thing I will say though, in the case of Goku, this actually would happen. The way that they play it out, because here's the thing, Goku loves a fight. He's not like Superman. Superman's not really interested in fighting if he can avoid it. Goku, however, loves fighting. It's what he was born and raised to do. It's his life.
The whole biology thing is geared to love fighting. So,
well, it's not only that, he was raised as a martial artist too. So it's been ingrained in him from his childhood.
But it's why he puts the universe at risk for the pettiest of reasons.
Yeah, he will. He's like, I'm gonna let Vegeta live. It's like, this guy literally killed our friends, Goku. Why would we not kill him? It's like, because I want to fight him again.
Okay, I'm sorry, but if Superman were in that position, he would have spared him too, but for different reasons.
Yeah. He would just say, take him to jail.
Or another more egregious example, and I know I'm kind of stealing this from DBZ Abridged, but I know I'll give Cell a sensu bead after he's fought me, so that he can beat the shit out of Gohan.
But that was what was going through his head in the actual show, so they're not wrong.
It's really it's not really a difference, because
no, a very stupid thing to do.
I mean, King Kai was telling Goku Frieza was still underpowered to go for the kill right then and there, but Goku's like, no, I'm gonna let him go full power. Yeah, I'm gonna let him go up to 100% so I can teach him humility. God damn it, I love DBZ Abridged. They nail it. Oh, fuck God.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing with Goku's character in all of the show, is that he wants a fight. Yeah. And it doesn't matter who it is that he's fighting. It's like, what character was it? I'm trying to remember. There's the new, in Dragon Ball Super, there was a short tournament that they had where they're facing off against Beerus's brother from another dimension, and he's like, I want to fight the strongest fighter. And then it's like Beerus brings in this other guy who's just a standard delivery truck driver or universal delivery truck driver, and he's like, this is the strongest fighter in the universe, Goku. And Goku's like, I want to fight him.
It's also worth noting that characters like Superman and Goku can be tricked because they're not 100% intellectually. But like I was saying, characters like Gandalf or Yoda or Strange or Fate, being the wisest motherfuckers on in their respective universes, should just be like, I can sense the good in you. We're not doing this.
Yeah, it would make more logical sense. I saw a guy who likes a fair fight. Yeah, ever notice when he fights folks, he never goes full power except after his opponents go full power?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's very honorable that way. He's like, are you fighting seriously? Oh, come on. I want you to go all out. Come on, show me what you got.
Which is what made
Cell inherited that from Goku when he was doing the whole thing with Gohan. Like, I'm going to torture you so that you'll actually fight me seriously. Which is a warped version of something Goku would do, but it's not completely out of the question.
Yeah, very rarely in Goku's character has he ever deviated from that, where it's like, I want to fight a strong opponent just for the sake of fighting a strong opponent. I think the only time when he deviated and where he changed was when they did during the Frieza saga, when Frieza kills Krillin. That's the only time when we see Goku actually change personality officially to the point where he was like, I have no mercy left to give. You are a dead man. He didn't even care.
And he still ended up showing him mercy.
He showed him mercy.
And everything.
Yeah, but that was at the point where Goku realizes, like, I'm stronger than you. There's no point in me fighting you anymore. I've already won. You can't beat me, so I might as well just let you live. I don't know but it wasn't like some of the other stupider things where Goku does it and he's like, I just want to fight them again later. No, he was just more or less like, this planet's doomed. You're doomed. I don't need to prove anything to you. I'm going to go home now.
And that's what makes the arguments presented by the Dragon Ball fan base as to why Goku should have won so terrible. That the only way Goku would be able to, like, one example was somebody was like, oh, all Goku would have to do was send him into a planet with a red sun on it and fight him there. And I'm thinking, okay, there are several things wrong with that.
Goku would never do that because it would take away all the fun, basically.
Guys, quiet. Not you guys, the dogs.
But yeah, there's several things wrong with that. One, that's not how a death battle works. Two, not in Goku's character. Three, how do we even know that Goku can survive on a planet with a red sun?
Well, to be fair, Goku's powers aren't solar based, so he should be fine.
Well, unless something's changed in the DBT's universe, he can only survive on an atmosphere that's similar to Earth's.
Yeah.
Okay, so we would need to find a planet with an Earth-like atmosphere that was next to a red sun, which honestly I don't think would be that difficult.
Basically, Krypton. We'd need to bring Krypton back from the dead because they had a red sun.
Well, but I mean Dragon Balls. So if Goku really needed that win, he would just be like, Shenron.
Yeah, I'm just putting that into consideration because unless I missed something in the comics, there's been no evidence of any Earth human surviving on a planet with a red sun, unprotected.
Yeah. Good point. What are you dogs doing? I heard you yipping. What were you yipping about?
Frieza could because he could survive anything.
Yep, he could survive any planet.
Also, really, to be fair, Goku only really needs to survive long enough to kill Superman, who's been depowered, and then instant transmission the fuck out of there. So
he'd have more time to focus.
Yeah,
which is another ding in their argument because Goku needs to focus in order to make that to work. There have been times where either he had to send the guys. In the case of Cell, he'd have to send the guy someplace, and the first thing he could think of, which was unfortunately King Kai's planet.
But that's because Goku is a dumbass, and that was the first thing that popped into his head.
And third, when Kid Blue blew up the planet, the instant transmission didn't work because he was so distracted.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but a lot of Goku's techniques, and that's what they are, don't forget, need time to charge. Whereas Superman's powers are abilities that he has in raw form, so he doesn't need to like. This is one of my biggest issues with Superman, and one of the reasons why I never really cared for Superman, because all of his powers are raw, basic bitch physical abilities that he doesn't have to really refine or anything.
Oh, he's had to
Whereas-
refine them because he had to train for several years to be at the level
Well,
he is.
Right.
But aside from that, though, he's never really had to. Whereas Goku, all of his extraordinary powers, or what we would define as extraordinary powers, are techniques that he learned from somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Instant
that's a
transfer.
massive disadvantage.
There is one argument I would say, and that's the fact that Goku tends to learn things way too quickly. This
Well,
is
yeah.
kind of like when he meets Master Roshi for the first time, and Master Roshi uses the Kamehameha. He learns it like the second after. He's just like,
Yeah, he just looks at it and does it.
yeah, which is kind of
It's just like,
similar
I
to
have
Goku.
a natural intuitive understanding of what you just did. Yeah.
I think the only technique he had to actually work at getting is the Kaioken.
Yeah, that's one of the few techniques that Goku actually had to spend time to learn. Because it's not something that he was going to like get the. I mean, he learned it faster than anybody else that King Kai has ever trained, but
Yeah,
that's
but it
because
took
he's
time.
Saiyan.
That, and he only had a year to learn it, so he kind of had to.
He had to push himself to do it faster.
Yeah.
But
Or he's
also
fucked up,
his.
yeah.
Yeah, but the thing with Saiyans is they're naturally gifted at learning quickly.
Yeah.
Even Vegeta learns quickly.
Especially when it comes to battle stuff,
Yeah,
because they're
Not quite as quickly as Goku, but he still learns.
Actually, Vegeta learns at the same pace, actually, because if you consider what happened after the Saiyan saga, after he gets beaten and gets sent back to Frieza,
Right.
and he's back on the planet, he takes the scouter with him, but he doesn't need it. Because he's learned, like the
Yeah.
humans in Goku, how to sense energies on his own.
the energy sensing technique. Yeah.
Yeah, he learned it on his.
To mask his power level.
And
But
yeah.
stuff like becoming a super but a lot of the other stuff afterwards, like becoming a Super Saiyan and even increasing his Super Saiyan levels, it took him longer. It took him longer than Goku to learn that.
That's more because of Vegeta's innate like flaws of character. They've actually established, or Akira Toriyama actually established that a huge part of why Goku can advance so quickly is because of his good nature. Because apparently, compassionate Saiyans have more of a particular kind of cell that allows them to advance in power levels more quickly. So
Well, if I came
it
from the
has
creators,
more-
I'll go with that.
I didn't
has-
know that.
it has more to do with Vegeta's kind of angsty, rage-ridden flaws of character than it does.
It's his pride.
Well, look who he had as a role model.
That's a good point.
Okay.
But yeah, what's up, Briscoe?
Well, I want to thank you for letting me on. I need to hit the bed, man.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, mind if I do one last show?
Do it.
All right. So I have a podcast channel, Podcast of the Storm. Me and Dalton, along with Corrupt, do a podcast every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go check it out. We for the 20th one, we're thinking of doing something special. So
Cool.
Keep an eye on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see you later, Brainstormer. Did you get the article I sent you for starting up for next week, the Good Omens one?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
All right.
Well, good night, man. Underworld Dream. Okay, what I miss? I left after you guys got into a long tirade about SJW and anti-SJW. Currently, we've been discussing Death Battle.
The stupidity of Death Battle, which then transitioned into DBZ stuff.
Yeah.
And the terrible arguments that fan bases make regard in defense of Goku.
Yep.
I in the sense of Goku versus Superman, I when I heard that they were going to do a battle of it, I had a feeling Superman was going to win, but the way that they went about power scaling both characters just does not work.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same problem with the Strange and Fate one they did, because even though I agree with the result they had, which is Fate winning, there's again no earthly reason he should have needed to go into his more his more perfected form, because when it comes down to who is the better magic user, who is the better occultist, Fate wins every time. And one of the main reasons why is because Strange trained with someone who was a servant to a god. Fate, his adopted father figure was a literal deity.
Yeah.
So there's quite a bit of power scale difference there.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah, even I would have put my money on Dr. Fate, and I don't know crap about any of this stuff.
What do we learn? Send Dalton every time Death Battle's doing Magic Duel. Yes,
I think they
that
want
makes
Dalton
sense.
to be a consultant.
No, send
You know-
Dalton to deal with their tomfoolery, because he can.
Yeah,
He can disprove it.
I mean, Smaxo, you're not wrong. I will eviscerate pretty much anything I get a hold of that is magical and does not make sense logically. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And I thought for sure Goku was going to win that death battle. I was wrong.
I thought that he had a chance to win the sequel fight because it's like, oh, now he has god powers.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was kind of
Super Saiyan God.
I was kind of
and Super Saiyan God.
Yeah. When they
And that
announced
was before his Ultra Instinct form that came about a year or so later.
Yeah. when they announced a second death battle, I face palmed so hard, but mostly because I was worried that Screw Attack was going to cater to the DBZ fan base who got pissed at the first battle.
Yeah.
What would have been a much more interesting battle would have been Superman 1,000,000 versus Super Saiyan God Goku.
And then it would end the same.
Yeah,
Because
pretty much.
but
Yeah.
it would have at least been more understandable at that point.
Yeah, because Superman 1,000,000 can erase Goku from existence with a snap like Thanos in Infinity War.
Yeah, he actually did start developing reality warping psychic powers and shit, which is one of the things I've always bitched at Superman for not having or not even trying to develop.
Yeah. But what should we talk about now? This has been an interesting topic.
We kind of nuked our topic once we got onto Death Battle, but it's not like that topic was really going anywhere anyway, so
Right.
Yeah.
Substantive.
I can barely remember some of the Death Battle fights. Some of them I can't remember. I kind of vaguely remember the Tifa versus Yang fight, which I thought was a bullshit fight to begin with, mainly because Tifa is just clearly the stronger combatant from the get-go. Might be a bit biased of me to say, but
I only really watch when they have characters that I give a damn about going up against one another.
I think the fight would have been. The problem with Final, on her own, Tifa probably would be the stronger fighter. But the problem is with Final Fantasy VII is that the fight that the power sets change depending on how they're equipped. If you were to give Tifa the Power Soul and the Cursed Ring, I think Yang would have taken a serious beating.
Yeah.
I agree, Smack. So the rage of any given interfandom war is always over 9,000. So yeah.
It can never truly be satisfied, no matter which side you're on. Her limit breaks include a goddamn suplex.
And even that was sufficient.
And considering that she can lift monsters 5 times her size.
Yeah.
And do a suplex to them. That should tell you something. Yang, I don't know if Yang can do that. When it's raw power versus raw power, no, I think Tifa might have her beat in that department. Yeah, the verse arguments can be pretty stupid. Biggest fan base and who's louder, tend to win the argument. Yeah, unfortunately.
I will give Death Battle some credit that they gave Fate the win, even though Strange had just had a movie and therefore had, by definition, the larger fan base. So
Yeah.
I will give them some credit for that. I will, however, not give them the credit because he shouldn't have even had to pull out his true fate form.
Hi, Eclectic. Welcome to the stream. And yes, you're right. Analyzing RPG characters is a little bit harder to do than standard characters because they're highly customizable.
That was the point I just made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know,
But
but I
yeah,
was
I think
just
Eclectic
it's
just
fun.
dropped in, so he missed that.
Yeah, he may have missed it. I don't know. I like Yang, but yeah, come back to me when Yang can suplex a 500-ton mech.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
considering that you
yeah.
could do that to the ultimate weapons.
Yeah. When Cloud wields his ultimate weapon, his attack power drops every time he loses hit points.
Yeah. Can Tifa actually suplex a mech? Yes. If we're going by the game's logic, yes. Considering that she did it in the game.
Yeah, I mean, if
right?
you have her in a party at like when Scarlet and Heidecker come at the party with that giant mech suit, she does that too.
Yeah. So if we have to go by the logic of the game's canon, yes, she can do that. I mean, does it sound practical? Like she could actually do it if we were to take this seriously? No, but in the game, it works.
Yeah. Well, she can. Well, if she can shatter a bench in Advent Children with just her fist, she can probably do that in canon too.
Yeah, more than likely. What else could we potentially talk about? I think that I should probably plan for another stream, and it's one that I need to message Tellium about because he wanted to do the stream because I recommended it the last time I was on here. But we're doing one talking about Shonen Jump books that are currently out, or just Shonen Jump books in general. Because we got a lot of books to talk about, and I don't have time to make every single one of them and editing every single one of them. So I'm gonna be doing some Shonen Jump based stuff. We'll talk about some of the new books and some of the books that unfortunately have been canceled or have been.
One Punch Man Shonen Jump.
Yes, it is. Chainsaw Man. No, I will not talk about Chainsaw Man. Okay, I'll talk about Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is stupid. In some cases the best kind of stupid, but also in other kinds the worst kind of stupid. I do not understand that book's popularity. I've read like the first 5 chapters and I'm like, aside from the fact that he's possessed or that his heart has been replaced by a demon dog pet with a chainsaw for a face, that is interesting. I don't understand this character at all. He's like, I want to fight demons for food and for boobs. So I could cop a feel.
Giant Robo
What?
It's Maxwell said.
Talk about classic robots like Giant Robo. I've never
think in
watched
the case
that.
of Chainsaw Man, it's probably just the absurdity of the premise that everyone loves.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because his character motivation is all goddamn over the place. And also, I find the character exceedingly weird. And not in a good way, more of a I can't read this guy at all kind of way. And I can't get attached to him because I mean he's got a sad background story. I'm like, okay, that's cool. He's like doesn't have a normal family. He's not treated like a normal person. He's treated like a dog. But the fact that they play up the whole treat him like a dog motif to the point where he practically is a dog, just a dog that can speak English and looks like a human being. It's annoying. I don't know why, but it's just really irritating for his character. Not as bad as, like, let's say Black Clover's character of Asta, who literally opens up his book by screaming at the top of his lungs and annoying the shit out of me. It's like, I liked Naruto more than this when he first was introduced. and that's saying something.
Speaking of which, I still have to get around to reading that again.
What, Naruto?
Yeah.
Simple. He's just a guy who wants food and boobs. We can all relate it. Yeah, I can kind of relate to him, but at the same time, his motivations are really, really basic. And he's not, of course, he's antisocial and not really, he doesn't behave like a normal human, so I guess it kind of makes sense. It's just weird.
It's
And I'm-
anime. Do they ever? I mean, it's anime and manga. Do they ever behave like a regular human?
Normally, no.
In terms of awesome things that really on the surface make no sense, I know I told you about this, Night Wolf, but I don't know if I told Samurai or Raccoon. Do you know there's a Death Note musical?
Yes.
I've heard of it.
Have you ever listened to any of it?
I have not.
You want I should send you the playlist because it's pretty awesome, honestly.
Yeah, I remember the one that you sent me. That was pretty cool. That was very well done.
Basically, after I saw Death Note the first time, I never wanted to see it again.
I feel that way about everything post the death of L. But everything pre-death of L is rewatchable constantly. But I always get off right as Nier and Mello show up, because after Nier and Mello show up, the universe grows a weird sense of morality that it didn't display throughout the entirety of the previous episodes,
Right.
and it always annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah. But maybe I can kind of go over a bit of a preview of books that we might discuss and talk about. Let me bring up the Shonen Jump app because there are some books that I have been reading, or today I did manage to read a couple of chapters of Beast Children.
Beast Children?
Yeah, Beast Children, yeah. Which is a sports manga about rugby.
Huh.
Which is kind of funny and entertaining so far. But it's pretty standard fare for a sports shonen. It's not too much to write home about. But I am kind of curious. It's funny, though, because...
it can't be as bad as Prince of Tennis.
No, I don't think it's that bad. I can barely remember Prince of Tennis. But I
love tennis player.
And Captain Tsubasa not caring. The funny thing is this one of the recent chapters I read, I think it was chapter 3. The character or the main character, I can't remember his name. Drawing a blank. But he's talking about or he's sent to he wants to go to the school with with his same classmate who he plays. I guess you could say they kind of play rugby for the first time, and it's his first time actually being able to play the sport that he's been obsessed with for years since he was a kid. And he's like, tell me what school you're going to so that we can both play rugby together. And he's constantly bugging him, and then he gives him a note and tells him what school to go to, and he thinks that's the same school he's going to, or the same high school. Turns out it's a different one, and he's sent to a different one. And during the opening ceremony, the lead captain of this rugby team for this school shows up in the gymnasium while they're having the ceremony because the kid mentions rugby and he hears it. He bursts through the door in nothing but his underwear. But walks up and he's like, "Hello, everybody, welcome." He's just like drink in, people. And he's like, I hear some people talking about rugby. And I was like, okay, this manga has my undivided attention now because it's funny as hell. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Also, Samurai 8 has been going on, which is written by the creator of Naruto, so that might be... What do you want, Hildy? My dog's bugging. The dog is bugging me. But that might be something that would be worth talking about and discussing. I don't know if there's anything else that's currently new that's running. A couple of the mangas that I was reading, I think, have been canceled, unfortunately, which would be Hell Warden and Neolation. They both got canceled because, or at least it sounds like they were canceled because lack of popularity. But, of course, that's really not too surprising. Shonen Jump is pretty cutthroat. If your book doesn't make the cut, you get gone. You get dropped, and it's like back to the drawing board. Make something else. I wonder. Hold on. Oh, whoops. Actually, I need to find out if there were any other chapters for that. I don't know if there were or not. We could also potentially talk about the upcoming anime for the summer season. I haven't looked at that list yet, but I might do that for that stream too. Oh yeah, there's another book that I recently found here on Shonen Jump's app called Hi-Fi Cluster, which looks kind of interesting. It says villains and heroes with downloadable abilities fight in a futuristic Tokyo. Sounds interesting and funny. There's also, what is it? There's that new Shinobi manga that's going on right now too.
There's an actual ninja manga, and not a hero manga with ninja type characters in it.
I wouldn't say that. It's called Tokyo Shinobi Squad. I wouldn't. It's more like Shinobi in a futuristic Tokyo. It's like science fiction mixed with ninjas.
Ninjas can exist in any time period.
That's true.
Nightwolf, did you ever do a stream talking about E3? I feel like you did, and I just missed it. But
I talked about the Square Enix press conference, and that was about it.
Okay, so do you want to talk about your feelings about E3 or any of the games that you are either dreading or looking forward to? We can always do that.
I'm not going to do that tonight, because that might take up another 2 or 3 hours, and I think the dogs might be getting a bit restless.
Not to mention I would have nothing to add since I'm not really a gamer these days.
Oh, never mind then. I thought you were Raccoon, or else I would not have suggested.
Yeah, it's a fine suggestion. Mostly E3 was fine, I guess. There wasn't a whole lot of games that I was like, that I didn't already know were coming out, basically, and that I already knew I was planning on playing or hoping to play in the future. So
the only other controversy concerning E3 I was kind of following was that one character from Pokemon. And that's it.
I haven't followed up on much of that.
Nessa, I think her name was.
Yeah, it's one of the gym leaders.
Yes.
On one of our streams, me and Brainstormer reacted to all of the important trailers from E3. Other than that, there really was nothing worth talking about. I sympathize once again with Razorfist when he says it was another year where nothing happened.
Yeah.
I think he put it. How did he put it? Bearing in mind how all of the previous years have gone, I forward the following query: where is all the news? Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm gonna call it a night.
Okay.
Cool.
And thank you everybody who joined us and who was in chat and whatnot, who contributed their thoughts and whatnot. I hope you all had a fun time. And I'm pretty sure that, I don't know, in another week or so, someone will be complaining about Tifa again.
Yes.
How about...
Cheers, guys.
No, I don't know anything about Bathroom and Twitch. Don't know what that's about. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. I hope you all had a good time. I'm basically talking to myself.
Cheers.
Ciao.
Adios, arrivederci. Yes, Hildy. Yeah, I'm gonna stop the stream. because I think you want to go outside or something, and you're bugging me. I'll get to you in just a moment.
Noisy doggo sign-offs.
No, she's not being noisy. She's just next to me, like jumping on me and saying, "Hey, pay attention to me."
Well, no, that's what I mean. She was previously being noisy, and so she had to also say goodbye to the people.